Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Mustang Arcade. I'm your host, Loudan, and I'm joined by
Jason Talent
and Thomas Guerrero.
And today we're gonna be talking about FromSoftware and the mini games that spawned from their company. Oh boy!
Oh yeah.
Well, of course, the
First game, Crash Bandicoot trilogy.
Okay, first game. Let's start with Dark Souls.
No, let's start
Dark
with Demon Souls.
Souls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
start with Demon
Demon
Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demon Souls is an older game. I think it was for the PS3.
Yep.
Yeah, it came-
No, PS2.
Yeah, 2009.
Oh, that's right. Well, it came out for the PS2. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting game compared to their other games like the little mechs that shoot and stuff, and then their other RPGs and etc. But it was definitely a cut above the rest. Because
Oh, yeah.
Seriously though,
it was a game that
It's what
introduced.
it's
From
what pretty much
software.
inspired.
It's what shot from software to fame.
Seriously, it like inspired just that level of just like I hate this game so much.
It
But
inspired
I
a
love
it.
new level of not really difficulty, but just straight up, hardness in games.
Yes.
Like like where people like playing in torturous
I
situations.
just love torturing myself and like breaking
Exactly,
my
that's-
controller over my knee.
That's
Like
that's
personally,
the-
I've
that's
beaten
Demon
Demon Souls twice.
I beat it just once.
Both times I hated myself playing them, but then looking back, I'm like, I want to play it again.
Yeah, except the aching problem, which they made a little better in Dark Souls. It's just like, oh my god, that camera was so bad.
The camera was
the camera
a problem.
and the sword hitting the wall.
Yes.
That was annoying.
No!
Yeah, you go to hit a spider. Okay, I got this. King, what?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But Demon Souls, yeah, it was interesting. It had a really
fresh.
like off
It was
story.
the predecessor.
And it wasn't something that like
Predecessor?
basically put you in a chokehold saying you're gonna go this way and you're gonna listen to the story. No, this is a game that one of the first games I was like, all right, do your thing.
Walk around the castle and break barrels.
Exactly.
Basically,
And then,
Oh wow, I found some fire bombs.
and from this game came the Dark Souls franchise, or the Souls. I would say the Souls.
Yeah, the Souls franchise.
The Souls trilogy.
So
Oh,
what,
the
do- what
Souls
do you guys
trilogy.
think about
Yeah,
Dark
I
Souls
see.
1 and 2?
Okay,
2 is the best. Fight me,
it's not.
but it is.
It's not.
But it is.
It's really not.
It
Dark
had
Souls,
the
Dark
best-
Souls 1 and 2
It had
are
the best pairing.
very
It had
similar, but-
quick riposte and backstab animations. It had pretty linear boss fights because they weren't like necessarily too hard. They weren't necessarily too easy, right?
That was my problem. I thought that was too easy.
with Dark Souls 2.
No, okay, like no, not like in that way. Like, oh, I could beat this game no problem. Like, yeah, it was still hard, but like going from Dark Souls
In
1
the
to
Souls
2 and then back to
franchise,
3,
yeah.
it's like,
In the Souls
Okay.
franchise level of difficulty, Dark Souls 2 is probably like one of the easiest games.
It is.
Dark Souls 1, oh my god, it's just as painstaking as Demon Souls.
Freaking first boss. Oh, look at that demon down there. Kick it up. It just freaking slams you
That's-
from the ledge. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Dark Souls 1, I've beaten it countless times. I actually kind of like do speedrunning kind of. But every time you go through, there's always something you missed. There's always an item that
Yeah.
could help. There's always,
Absolutely.
something you left behind that really could have helped.
My favorite part of Dark Souls 1 was when you go on like that big tower and like there's just thousands of those dumb giant guards that chase you everywhere. And there's this little ledge where it's like, oh, I think I'm safe. But then they start crawling across and you're like, oh,
Remember
no.
Snake Fortress? Remember Snake Fortress?
Nah, my favorite area in that whole game was probably Darkroot Garden, where
Oh,
you
yeah, that
find
was pretty
Sif
cool.
and you find what is it, the Moonlight Butterfly?
Yes?
The Moonlight, yeah, because you fight him on that. Yeah,
I thought he had a different name.
the Darkroot Forest or Garden, whatever you want to call it. It was very, cool, especially in the
Oh, yeah.
remaster. I like how they cleaned it up really well.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
those
I've always
plants.
been like a.
Visuals.
I've always been like
Yes.
a not necessarily visuals. I've always been like a nature kind of looks,
Ah.
like Skyrim. I love
Oh,
Skyrim,
yeah.
so I love like the
Absolutely.
way nature, like all that
Ooh.
looks, the water, all
That
of
changed in Sekiro.
But they
It's
really-
nice, but there's some changes.
Just saying, everything in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 and 2, they really ramped up in Dark Souls 3. Like, Dark Souls 3 is a masterpiece.
Seriously, I love Dark Souls 3.
Masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. Mwah.
See, Dark
Just
Souls.
from the beginning, if
Dark
you've never
Souls
played a
3.
Souls game and you started on 3 and you get slammed by Iudex Gundyr straight from the beginning, you just like this.
Yo,
If he
This is
pile
epic.
drives you in the
watches
After
pace.
2 hours trying him and eventually beating him, then you
Yes.
realize this is epic.
watches Avengers Endgame trailer, sees Thanos with a sword. Oh, is that Champion Gundyr?
Yeah, why don't they just do
See,
what I did
aside
against
from getting
Gundyr?
pile drived into the pace,
Exactly. And then halfway through, he evolves into a freaking
giant
monster
goo
demon.
thing.
When you believe you've defeated the boss, but it has a second phase. Oh
Yes.
no.
That's how I felt about what's it called, Mother Freed.
What really set the game up for me, like gameplay wise, what made me really love the game is just the first area with the Vortit, and like where you're exploring, but you're still getting the crap out of you, or the crap kicked out of you. Anyways. But it just like sets up the game for everything else that you're about to go through. Because like, if this is just the first level, then what the heck is to come?
And then you go to the second level, and like there's a freaking dragon.
Yeah, like what is that? No, that's what I'm talking about. That level. I don't really consider like the introduction like a level.
Yeah, it was more just like a tutorial.
Yeah,
Tutorial.
I'm just saying, like,
And then
what's
everybody
it
else in the
called?
world is like,
It's called the wall of the beginning area with the Vortit.
castle wall of like
Wall of
Lothric.
Oh yeah,
Wall
wall
of
of
Lothric.
Lothric. Yeah. That was like
It's like
one of my favorite areas.
all Dark Souls players. Oh man, great tutorial level. Everybody else, that was a tutorial level.
I feel like the area where
The freaking
Vort is
crystal
in
lizard.
was really like the point where you decided, am I gonna keep playing this game,
Yeah.
or am I gonna give
Am I
up?
gonna be a man?
Am I
or
gonna be a
gonna
man
give
and
up?
get through
Am I gonna get my epic gamer
this
points?
gigantic area with only like one bonfire in between it,
Yeah.
or am I gonna give up and miss out on an amazing game?
Yeah.
Because
You're
the
right.
Vort area, it was difficult. You can't deny when you first started playing
The
it.
freaking courtyard with those big dudes, those fat
Dude,
dudes.
I loved the boss fights. The Vortit, the Lothric, and what was that one? Lothric and
Which
the
one?
two princes.
Oh, the Twin Princes?
Lothric
Yeah.
and what's his brother's name?
I can't
He's like
remember.
an
his brother's
ingrown
Lorien
twin.
or something? Lothric and Lorien? I don't know, something like
Yes,
that.
it's Lorien.
Yeah, and then Yorm and the Abyss Watchers.
My favorite boss
The
fight.
nameless king, baby.
Yes, and the
Nah,
name
my
was
favorite
King.
boss fight as a soundtrack is probably what's it called, Lord of Cinder, the final boss.
Oh, the Soul of Cinder.
Soul of Cinder.
Yeah.
Box art man.
See,
Yeah.
Soul of Cinder. Oh man, I just miss the music, like that kind of flashback you get when the Gwyn piano starts coming in. Oh
Absolutely.
man, that was just beautiful.
It's like you walk up, it's like, you freaking Chungus, why don't you ignite the fire, you dingus?
My favorite part of Dark Souls 3 is probably like just the setting. Like it feels amazing when you're
Yeah,
playing
it's
that
like,
game.
oh wow,
They
look
did
at this
such
fantasy.
a good job.
Look at this dark fantasy world. Walks on the castle, sees a regular peasant, stabs him, turns to a giant blob
Yeah,
monster.
like, oh,
Hmm,
okay. I hate this.
Like the environment you
but I
think
love it at the
is
same
like
time.
Goes
Oh,
down
yeah.
ladder. No.
the environment you see is like it's really medieval. Like yeah,
They really
yeah.
did a great
But-
job of setting the scene.
Then you get that like feeling, that eerie feeling of like dark, gloomy.
Like,
And
I'm gonna die.
Like every area kind of gave you that.
Everything is
feel.
out to kill me. Open the treasure chest, mimic,
Yeah, like-
destroyed.
Like every area gave you a certain type of feel. Like Irithyll,
Oh, yeah.
I felt like that place is beautiful. Like
It
the
was like
snow
Disney
and all
World
that.
and stuff.
It,
Yo,
it's basically
the
snowy
swamp,
Disney
bro.
World.
The swamp,
Oh
those
my
freaking giant
gosh.
crabs.
Yeah.
Freaking
Yeah,
popping
like
up out of nowhere.
the swamp just gave you that kind of idea of okay, where's the next crab? Where is it coming from?
Yeah, another
Exactly.
another thing about Dark Souls games is like there's actually like really cool ways you could beat bosses. Like there's some specific items that you can find that can help you beat bosses.
Like Yorm, you get the storm lord, the storm. What's it called?
So like a sign, grab here. It's a big boy sword.
I don't remember.
I can't remember what it's
I
called.
don't remember the name, but you just grab it. It's just like,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gives a big boom, and it beats Yorm easy.
yeah.
But aside from that, all the gameplay was just beautiful. I feel like the way they tied in NPCs, like
How do you praise the sun, traveler?
like Henri of Astora, Horus. I'm trying to remember the guy from Katarina. What was his name? Onion Boy. I'm just gonna call him Onion,
Isn't it
bro.
like Siegfried or something?
I love watching
The
the
Seek
edits of
something.
the guy, the blacksmith guy, just like going Super Saiyan.
Stop staring at me, or else I'll
Yeah,
squander
stop,
my hammer
sorry.
on your face.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like all of them really had their
Ashen
own unique
They all had their-
personality.
yeah, exactly. They all had their own unique character. Every world had its own unique setting, and the FromSoftware did a great job of setting the scene.
Oh yeah, big dog's coming to murder me. Oh cool.
Exactly.
Like Firelink Shrine, you get the idea of it's like
This is a
dark
hub
and
world.
gloomy, but it has that fire in the middle that's like it's kind of like the game. It's a spark of hope. You're the spark of hope that
Yeah,
has
how about
to
I use that to
carry it out.
teleport and like cover me in dust?
Also, it feels like a good hub world.
It
does.
yeah. You just go outside and just like That's where I killed my first boss.
That's where I killed my first.
That's where I got my butt kicked for 2 hours before realizing that was just the first boss.
I thought Gundyr was actually pretty easy.
Well, yeah, because you probably played other Dark Souls games.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
didn't.
because like, dude, my friend Isaac, he freaking played Dark Souls, and he finally made it through like all of the bosses in like a year's time, because he'd like stop playing for like a month at a time, and then he finally is, and I'm like, oh, you're not done yet, and he's like, what do you mean? And then I showed him where to go for Nameless King, and he's just like, no. He
It's
like
that
because he
meme
plays
of-
on the keyboard and mouse like an
That
idiot.
meme of Peter Griffin.
No, I mean kinda. He broke his keyboard over his knee, just like. Gah! He has anger issues.
If there was one boss that really aggravated me, it'd probably be Nameless King, because of that
Oh,
one move where he
absolutely.
dashes at you.
It's
And it insta-kills.
painstaking.
I feel like every boss
Javelins
fight
into
in its
oblivion.
own way was extraordinarily difficult and gave its own weight, but no boss can match Nameless King or Soul of Cinder, because those were really unique bosses. Like
Right.
Soul of Cinder, he's the only one that's like that. Nameless King, he literally rides a dragon into battle
Right.
and fights you with it, and then kills the dragon himself when you beat
It's
it.
like revealed that he was
Gets off
and-
and says, "Aye, now you face me."
and it was revealed that he was like
yeah,
a
now you face
like
me.
in the lore. It's like he was like a god that would like side with the dragons, and it was just like, I'm just a dude who got murderized
Just
and came back to
imagine a
life.
giant
like-
dude with a
like,
giant
huh.
spear that controls lightning.
Imagine a guy flying in on a dragon just to kick your butt for no reason.
It's like, yo, buddy.
Like, so okay,
I just killed
so,
a dude with a googly eye. Now I'm here.
So we talked about the Souls franchise.
Bloodborne.
What do you guys think about Sekiro?
Oh, okay. So have any of you guys played Sekiro?
I
not.
have.
You have?
I have.
Do you have it?
I'm at the snake boy.
I have
You
the
gotta
big
sneak,
white snake.
just sneak past him. There's just don't try.
I hit him and I died. And I died.
No, because he attacks you in midair and just launches you into the floor. It's just like. But yes, Sekiro. I like Sekiro.
I feel like it's a
more
much
than
darker
Dark Souls.
game.
Darker?
I feel like it's a much darker game.
Yeah, like you said, the landscapes are really pretty.
The landscapes
Let me
are-
see burned down houses.
Yeah, the landscapes, the entire setting of Sekiro is just. I don't like that word, but it's very depressing. Like
But
it gives you that
beautiful.
idea of like
It's very,
defeat.
it's very. What's it called? Grim. That's it.
It's grim, yeah.
Because like it's
gives you that
beautiful, but
good-
it's just like I
I
totally
mean, yeah, you
believe
can say, like,
Japan
it's
was like
beautiful 'cause
this.
It's a good creation, but it can also still be dark in
Yeah.
its tone.
But I really enjoy the story because it actually has like a story instead of it just being like, yo, you died, come back to life, do this.
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls. That's what Dark Souls is.
Yeah. Oh, the Dark Souls trilogy.
Crash
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
But it's like Sekiro 1, the combat is really fun. I love the combat in Sekiro and the way you like level up your skills and
The combat's really it's
Interesting.
funny
It's
to me
interesting.
because you can just ledge hit somebody and not get punished for it.
Unless it's those freaking bird dudes who just
Oh yeah, that dive bomb you.
So what I really love most about the FromSoftware games is that they're really difficult, but they're fair. They keep it fair. so that
Yes.
you
They
can-
have a sense of achievement.
Exactly. And once you finally beat that final boss in that game that you were playing for 20 hours and you took 3 hours on the first boss, then you know you've done something good.
Now this is epic.
Yeah.
The
now
sense
this-
of accomplishment.
This is a gamer moment.
I feel like FromSoftware does a really good job of balancing their game. I mean, yeah, it's hard. You get destroyed, but as soon as you complete something or you complete that boss, you
realize-
completely go on to the next area, and you're like, okay,
Let's get my butt
That
kicked
was
again.
just
After,
that
after
was
playing
one of
the
many.
Souls games, your mind is prepared for new levels of difficulty.
Right, it's like here's something that I figured out. Even though Dark Souls is really hard, once you beat like a boss and play the game again, they're like infinitely easier than they were before.
It's like
It's like I beat Gundyr. Like let's say
it's like when you beat the Elite
I
Four in
died
Pokemon.
twice on Gundyr because I hadn't played a Dark Souls game in like 2 years.
yeah.
And
like,
then the next time I played, my friend brought it over and he was like, "Oh, dude, this guy's so hard." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I play it. I'm like, "That was easy."
It's like when you're a kid and you beat the champion in Pokemon for the first time.
then you just run
then
back
you
through it.
realize, okay,
Spam
that was
ice
actually
beam on
easier
Lance.
than I thought it
Spam
was.
Ice beam.
Yeah, this is actually easier than I thought it was. I can do this again in other games, and that's what Dark Souls does for
And
me.
then proceed to get murdered by red and gold.
I
God.
it's kind of a sense of disdain whenever people say there should be an easy mode or like a
Like
or
yeah.
like
The whole point
a
of the
detriment-
game is
a
for it to
detriment.
be
Yeah,
difficult.
and the worst part is it's stemming from like game journalism. Like they're all saying, "Oh,
You're-
this game needs an easy mode," and I'm like, You
Here,
just
You're
want
never
that to
gonna
get a
get
good
the, you're
review.
never gonna get the
Here.
rush from an easy mode.
Let me finish. I feel like it's a detriment to the game. I feel like you're saying that they didn't do a good enough job designing their game. I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face to FromSoftware because they made it this way for a reason. And they want you to play it whether it's hard or not. But whenever you do keep playing it, whenever you keep proceeding, whenever you keep progressing, you just get the idea that, okay, these guys are geniuses for making this.
Right?
Like, if there was an easy mode, it's basically like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim, you can put it on an easier difficulty for this boss and then switch back to a hard difficulty whenever you're in normal stuff. And that makes it boring. That makes it too easy.
Yeah, but I have a feeling if they did make an easy mode, they just make it like harder just to troll on people.
I feel like that'd be a fun thing to do. Like normal,
April
easy,
Fools.
except easy is like twice as much health and
You-
less damage.
you get more health and more rewards, but you just die. But yeah, do you so Sekiro, I really don't think it should have an easy mode.
Sekiro, I don't feel like any Dark Souls or FromSoftware game in general should have an easy mode.
Yeah, it just defeats the purpose.
Completely, yeah. It's a slap in the face to FromSoftware, and yeah.
Yeah, it just
So,
ruins it.
From Software as a whole, I can agree. I think we can all agree is a great gaming company.
It's a
Yeah, like
yeah.
how,
They
how
make-
would you
they
rate
make-
all their games together?
I would give it
in,
a
like,
solid
rating?
8. I would give.
Yeah,
I
solid.
would give
eight.
From
I'm gonna
Software
give that
solid
a
8.
9 because I'm really into Sekiro right now. Like,
Actually, 8.5 because
like-
I've played those games a lot. So
yes, seriously. So, how was?
overall, are you okay?
I need that dog again.
Okay, 3, 2.
So yeah, we all really think that From Software and their games are really good. I feel like they've propelled gaming into a really good point, and like that, I really hope that they continue making games like this. Hopefully, a Bloodborne too, because I kind of want one. Like I like Bloodborne. but-
Bloodborne was a very unique game.
Yeah, it's like Dishonored meets like Dark Souls, kind of.
Right.
A little bit. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Once again, I'm Loudan Vines,
Joined by Jason Talent.
And Thomas Guerrero.
and we'll see you all
Next time.
iCarly.